The great hall of the Orion Empire was bright with blue lights, golden banners, and thousands of alien soldiers standing in perfect lines. Every species in the Empire was present: tall warriors with shining armor, winged guardians, crystal-skinned captains, and shadow-like scouts. They had all come to watch one thing, the honor ceremony. But no one expected a human to stand at the center of the hall. Humans were new to the Empire, small in number, and considered weak by many older species. Yet there he was, a lone human named Evan Ward, standing under the main spotlight while whispers moved like a wave through the crowd. Why is a human here? He does not belong among heroes. He is too young, too small. Evan heard the whispers, but he stayed still. His breathing was slow, and his hands were cold, but his eyes stayed calm. He was not there to impress them. He was there because of what he had done weeks earlier, although most aliens did not believe a human could do something great. Then the giant steel doors opened, and everyone fell silent. General Leora, the most feared and respected warrior in the Orion Empire, entered the hall. She walked with a strong, confident step, wearing her silver armor marked with ancient symbols. Her skin had a soft purple glow, and her long white hair floated gently as if touched by an invisible wind. She carried a small black box in both hands, the box that held the Empire's highest honor. Only 5 people in history had ever received that medal, and now the 6th was human. Evan felt his heart beat faster. He knew Leora was powerful, but there was something strange in the way she looked at him. Her eyes stayed on him, not with anger or pride, but with something deeper, something he could not understand. When she finally reached him, the hall became so quiet it felt like even the air stopped moving. Leora opened the black box slowly. The metal inside glowed with a soft red light, shaped like a star with ancient carvings. She lifted it with both hands and stepped closer to Evan. He could feel the heat of the metal as if it recognized him. She raised her voice so the entire hall could hear. "Evan Ward of Earth," she said, "today you receive the Star of Unity for your courage, your instinct, and your willingness to risk your life for soldiers who did not trust you." Whispers rose again. Some aliens shook their heads, unwilling to accept a human being praised. Others stared in silent shock. Leora stepped close, very close, until Evan could see the reflection of the glowing metal in her eyes. Then she placed the metal on his chest, pressing it gently against his uniform. And in that moment she leaned forward. Her lips brushed near his ear. Her voice dropped to a whisper no one else could hear. "I should have chosen you before all others." Evan froze, his heart stopped. The hall felt far away, almost silent, even though thousands of soldiers were staring at them. What did she mean? Chosen him for what? Why did her voice sound so emotional, almost regretful? Leora stepped back and spoke loudly again as if nothing unusual had happened. But Evan could feel the truth. Something important was hidden behind her words. After the ceremony, when soldiers marched out and leaders saluted, Evan noticed strange looks. Some aliens glared with jealousy. Others were confused. A few looked almost afraid of him now. He understood why. If the mighty General Leora whispered private words to a human, then something big was happening, something the Empire did not expect. When the hall finally emptied, Leora gave a small gesture to her guards. They obeyed instantly, forming a protective circle around Evan. This surprised him. Humans never received private escort teams. They were usually ignored or left alone. But Leora walked beside him as if he were someone important. As they moved down the long corridor, Evan remembered the events that brought him here. Weeks ago, when he served as a simple engineer on an Empire ship, he noticed a pattern in the enemy signals. He warned the alien officers about a hidden ambush. They laughed at him. Humans, they believed, were too emotional and too inexperienced to understand advanced warfare. But when the ship was attacked exactly as Evan predicted, he acted fast. He sealed the broken decks, saved the reactor from exploding, and guided civilians to escape pods. He risked his life repeatedly while the officers panicked. He saved more than 900 lives. And yet, after the battle, many aliens refused to thank him. Only one person had looked at him differently, Leora. She watched him with curiosity, almost with a strange respect. Now, walking beside her, Evan felt that same unusual attention. The corridor lights dimmed as they reached a private chamber. Leora turned to face him. Her expression was serious, almost tense. "You are wondering," she said quietly, "why I whispered those words." Evan swallowed. "Yes, General, I don't understand." Leora stepped closer again, her eyes glowing softly. You will understand soon, she said. There is something you need to know, something only you can face. Her voice dropped lower. And it begins tonight. The heavy doors closed behind them with a deep echo, and Evan knew his life was about to change forever. The chamber door slid shut behind Evan with a heavy metallic thud that echoed through the room. The air inside felt different from the grand hall, colder, quieter, and filled with a strange tension he could not explain. Soft blue lights glowed from the walls, casting shadows that moved like living shapes. Evan stood still, unsure if he was supposed to speak or wait. General Leora moved ahead of him with slow, confident steps, her long white hair floating softly behind her as if each strand had its own will. For a moment she did not speak. She only studied him, walking in a slow circle around him as though she was seeing something no one else could see. Evan felt nervous, but he did not break her gaze. Something told him this moment was important, more important than the medal on his chest. Finally, she stopped in front of him. "You heard what I whispered," Leora said quietly. Evan nodded. He felt the weight of her words again, repeating in his head like a secret he was not ready to hold. "I should have chosen you before all others." What did you mean?" he asked. Leora exhaled slowly, as if she had carried this truth for many years. "Evan," she said, "you must understand something. In the Orion Empire, warriors are chosen young. We pick those who appear strong, fast, gifted. Before you arrived, I selected many. All powerful, all talented. Yet none of them had what you have." Evan blinked. "What do I have?" Leora's eyes softened, a rare expression for a general known across galaxies as a cold, perfect soldier. "Instinct," she said. "You feel danger before it arrives. You see patterns others ignore. You move with heart, not calculation. Your courage is not forced, it is natural." Evan opened his mouth to speak, but she raised her hand gently, stopping him. "There is more," she said, her voice dropping lower. "Something I have not told the High Council, something only you must know." She tapped a panel on the wall. Instantly, a hologram appeared, a glowing, three-dimensional map of the Empire. Red marks flashed across several planets, pulsing like warning signs. "These are attacks from the enemy," Leora explained. "But the pattern is too exact, too perfect. Someone inside our empire is controlling this, betraying us." Evan felt his chest tighten. "A traitor." "Yes," Leora said. "A powerful one, someone close to the council, someone who knows everything, including the movements of our fleets and the weaknesses of our cities." Evan stepped closer to the hologram. "And you think I can find them?" Her answer came without hesitation. "I know you can." Those words hit him harder than the medal had. "But why me?" he asked. "I'm not a soldier. I'm not even trusted by most aliens here." Leora's expression turned serious. "Because the traitor fears you," she said. Evan froze. "Fears me? Why?" Leora walked to him slowly, stopping only a step away, close enough that he felt the soft energy radiating from her alien skin. "Your instincts," she whispered. "The traitor knows you can sense danger before others. They know you survived the last ambush because you saw what no one else saw. You are the one person they cannot predict. That is why they want you gone." A chill traveled through Evan's spine. He understood now why the hall felt strange, why some aliens stared at him with fear, and why Leora kept him under protection. He was not just a hero. He was a threat to the wrong person. Without warning, the chamber lights flickered. Leora's expression changed instantly, sharp, alert, ready for danger. She stepped in front of Evan. "Stay behind me," she ordered. The lights flickered again, then dimmed completely. The room went dark except for the soft blue glow of the hologram map floating in the air. A cold wind rushed through the chamber even though there were no windows. Evan felt it, a presence, something watching them. Leora sensed it too. Her hand went to her blade. "Show yourself," she commanded. A distorted voice echoed from somewhere in the darkness. "So the human knows." Evan's heart raced. The voice did not sound like any alien he had met before. It carried anger, fear, and something twisted beneath the surface. "You should not have brought him here, Leora," the voice hissed. "You should have let him die with the others." Leora stepped forward, her blade glowing. "You will not touch him," she said firmly. The voice laughed, a cold, sharp sound that scraped against the walls. "You think you can protect him, even now, when he is the one who will destroy everything you built." Evan swallowed hard. There was no doubt anymore. Someone inside the Empire, someone powerful, wanted him gone. The hologram flickered again, showing a new red signal moving fast toward their location. Leora's eyes widened. "They are coming," she whispered. "They are coming now." Evan looked at her, fear and adrenaline mixing inside him. "What do we do?" he asked. Leora stepped close, her eyes fierce with determination. "We fight," she said. "And you, Evan Ward, you must survive, because you are the only one who can stop what is coming." The chamber doors began to shake violently, as if something massive was trying to break through. The traitor was no longer hiding. They were coming for him. The chamber doors shook again, harder this time, sending dust falling from the metal frame. Evan stepped back instinctively as the blue lights overhead cracked and sputtered. Leora tightened her grip on her blade, her posture straight and fearless. But Evan could see tension in her eyes, a silent understanding that the traitor was no longer hiding in the shadows. They were ready to attack, ready to silence him forever. The door bent inward with a loud metallic screech. Evan could hear muffled voices on the other side, soldiers, but not loyal ones. Footsteps pounded against the ground. Weapons charged with heavy energy hummed like angry insects. Leora turned her head slightly toward him. "Evan," she said softly, "whatever happens, do not run. Running is what they expect. Fight with me." Evan nodded even though fear crawled across his chest like ice. His hands shook, but he clenched them into fists. He wasn't a trained soldier, but something inside him, instinct, courage, human stubbornness, told him he had to stand his ground. The door exploded inward. 3 armored soldiers stormed into the chamber, their armor black with crimson marks, the symbol of a secret division used only by the High Council. But these soldiers were not here for official work. They were here to kill. "Target located," one of them growled. "Eliminate the human." Leora moved like lightning. Before the soldier could even raise his weapon, she darted forward and struck his chest with the hilt of her blade, sending him crashing into the wall. Evan watched in shock. He had always heard stories about Leora, but seeing her fight was like watching a storm take physical form. The remaining 2 soldiers opened fire. Evan dove behind a control platform as energy beams sliced through the air, burning deep scars into the walls. Leora blocked one shot with her blade, which glowed brighter each time it deflected a blast. "Evan, now," she shouted. Her voice triggered something inside him, instinct again. Evan grabbed a fallen metal panel and threw it upward. The energy shots hit the panel, deflecting into the ceiling lights. Sparks rained down, blinding the soldiers for a moment. Leora used that moment to leap forward and deliver a powerful roundhouse strike, sending both attackers crashing to the floor. Silence returned, heavy, broken only by the crackle of damaged wires. Evan crawled out from behind the platform, heart pounding. They were going to kill me." Leora nodded. "They were ordered to." "By who? Who has the power to use council soldiers for this?" Leora did not answer immediately. Instead, she stepped to the control panel and typed a fast sequence. The hologram map returned, but now a face appeared beside it. A tall alien with dark silver skin and sharp blue eyes. "Counselor Vrax." Evan felt a chill. He had seen Vrax only once, during the evacuation ceremony weeks ago. Vrax had looked at him then with cold, calculating eyes, as if Evan was a puzzle that needed to be solved or removed. Leora's voice was low. "Counselor Vrax has feared humanity for years. He believes humans will disrupt the balance of the Empire. He thinks your instincts make you dangerous." Evan's throat tightened. "But I'm just one person." "And that is why he fears you more," Leora said. "You saved 900 lives without training. You predicted an ambush that even seasoned commanders failed to see. Your existence threatens his authority and everything he controls." Evan shook his head. "So he wants me dead." "He wants humanity erased from the Empire," Leora corrected, "and killing you is the first step." Before Evan could respond, a loud alarm echoed through the chamber. The hologram shifted, showing red dots swarming toward their level, more soldiers, dozens of them. Leora looked at him, her eyes blazing with determination. "We cannot stay here. Follow me." They ran through the narrow corridor outside the chamber. The air smelled of burning wires. Alarms continued to echo, lights flashing red. Evan could hear soldiers from multiple directions. The traitor did not want to give them even a second to escape. "Where are we going?" he asked breathlessly. To the lower levels, Leora said. There is someone we must find. They reached an elevator shaft. Leora sliced the control lock with her blade and forced the doors open. The elevator platform was missing, meaning they had to climb down manually. Evan stared into the dark shaft. We're going down there. Yes, Leora answered without hesitation. Move. He followed her down the metal ladder. The sounds of soldiers grew faint above them, but Evan knew it was only temporary. As they descended, Leora's voice echoed softly down the shaft. There is something I must tell you, Evan. He stopped climbing. What is it? Leora looked down at him, her glowing eyes reflecting worry, a rare emotion for her. You are not the first human the Empire has noticed, she said. Years ago, before you came, there was another. He had instincts similar to yours. He was brave, talented, and full of heart. Evan felt his breath freeze. What happened to him? Leora's expression darkened. Counselor Vrax made sure he disappeared. A deep silence filled the shaft. Evan swallowed. Why are you telling me this now? Because, Leora said, that is the reason I whispered what I did when I placed the medal on your chest. Her voice softened. I should have protected him. I did not. I will not make the same mistake with you. Before Evan could respond, a violent explosion shook the entire tower. Dust rained down the shaft. Shouts echoed above them. Leora looked upward, then back at him. They know where we are, she said. We must move faster. They climbed down into darkness, into the lower levels where secrets waited, and where Vrax's power did not reach. But Evan knew one thing with certainty. The traitor did not fear humanity because humans were weak. He feared them because humans could not be controlled. The lower levels of the Orion Citadel were nothing like the shining halls above. The air was colder here, heavy with dust and the scent of forgotten battles. Pipes rattled overhead, and dim red emergency lights flickered along the walls like dying stars. Evan climbed off the last ladder rung and looked around, breathing hard. Leora landed beside him with silent precision, barely disturbed by the long descent. This place, Evan whispered, scanning the darkness. What is it? An old sector, Leora answered. Abandoned after the last war. Nobody comes down here, which is why I chose it. Chose it for what? Leora looked at him, her expression serious. For the one person who can help us. Before Evan could ask, a soft metallic clank echoed through the hallway. Evan tensed, but Leora raised a hand. It's all right, she said. He is an ally. From the shadows, a small robotic drone floated forward, spherical, with blinking green lenses for eyes. Its metal was scratched, its wires exposed, but it hovered with surprising steadiness. Designation X-17, the drone announced in a cheerful robotic tone. General Leora, you have returned, and you have brought a human. Probability of danger, 100%. Evan blinked. It talks. Too much, Leora sighed. But X is the only witness to Counselor Vrax's past activities, and he has information we need. The drone floated close, scanning Evan from head to toe. Human life signals detected, X-17 chirped. Instinct profile unusually high, possible threat to Vrax extreme. See, Leora said, even he knows why Vrax fears you. X-17 bobbed in the air. Vrax's soldiers are searching the entire citadel. We must act before they reach this level. Leora turned to Evan, her eyes glowing with determination. There is a secret I have waited to show you, a truth the Empire has hidden for years. They followed the drone deeper into the underground tunnels until they reached a massive sealed door marked with ancient symbols. X projected a thin blue laser into the lock, and the metal door opened with a loud hiss. Inside was a chamber filled with holographic records, files, images, battle logs, maps, and old communications. But one hologram glowed brighter than all the others. It was the image of a young human man, tall, confident, with sharp eyes and a familiar instinctive focus. Evan stepped closer, his breath catching. Who is that? Leora stood beside him. His name was Aaron Hale, the first human we accepted into our ranks. He had instincts like yours, perhaps even stronger. Evan stared at the hologram. There was something in Aaron's expression, determination mixed with kindness, that reminded him of himself. What happened to him? Evan asked quietly. Leora looked away, guilt tightening her voice. Aaron discovered something he should not have, proof of a traitor within the High Council. Before he could reveal it, Vrax had him removed, silenced. X drifted lower as if bowing its mechanical head. Aaron Hale was my partner, my guardian. He protected me during missions. He trusted the Empire until the Empire betrayed him. Evan felt anger rise inside him, not the loud, violent kind, but the deep, steady fire that forms when something truly unfair happens. "Why didn't anyone stop Vrax?" he asked. "Fear," Leora said. "He controlled the Council with lies and manipulation. If anyone doubted him, they disappeared." Evan clenched his fists, "And he wants to do the same thing to me." "Yes," Leora said, "unless we stop him first." Before Evan could respond, the floor vibrated. Dust fell from the ceiling. Alarms blared. X-17's lights flashed red. "Warning, unauthorized forces entering the sector. Vrax has found us." Evan looked to Leora. She activated her blade, the blue glow brighter than ever. "This ends now," she said. They ran back through the tunnels, reaching a vast open chamber, once a training arena. The ceiling towered high above them. Broken weapons and cracked floors showed signs of old battles, and standing at the far end of the chamber was Counselor Vrax. Tall, cold, silver-skinned, with a long dark coat flowing behind him like a shadow. His eyes glowed a cold blue, sharp and filled with hatred. Behind him stood 20 armored soldiers. "General Leora," Vrax said with a slow smile, "and the human, you've caused much trouble tonight." Leora stepped forward. "Your lies are finished, Vrax." Vrax laughed softly. "Lies? Everything I have done is for the Empire. Humans are dangerous. They must be controlled or destroyed before they destroy us." He pointed one long finger at Evan. "Especially him." Evan felt anger rise again, stronger this time. "Why do you hate humans so much?" Vrax's expression hardened. "Because your kind is unpredictable. You cannot be measured. You cannot be controlled. You act with instinct, emotion, chaos, and somehow that makes you powerful, too powerful." He raised his hand. The soldiers aimed their weapons. "Enough," Vrax said. "Kill him." But before the soldiers could fire, Leora leaped forward with superhuman speed. Her blade flashed like lightning. Energy beams ricocheted off the walls as she fought 5 soldiers at once. Evan grabbed a fallen shield, ducking behind broken pillars as shots flew past him. X-17 buzzed overhead, projecting blinding flashes to confuse the enemy. "Human Evan," the drone shouted, "your instincts, use them." Evan closed his eyes for a moment, letting fear fade away, letting instinct rise. And then he moved. He dodged a blast before it was fired. He rolled under a soldier's strike before the soldier even swung. He struck pressure points he didn't even know he knew. Leora glanced at him mid-battle, surprised and proud. Vrax snarled, "You are becoming a threat just like Aaron." Evan stood tall, shield in hand. "No," he said, "I'm becoming something you can't control." He charged forward. Vrax fired a shockwave of energy, but Evan ducked under it, driven not by calculation but pure, unstoppable human instinct. He slammed his shield into Vrax's chest, sending the counselor stumbling backward. Leora finished the last soldier and stepped beside Evan, blade pointed at Vrax's throat. "It's over," she said. Vrax looked between them, hatred burning in his eyes, then fear. "No," he whispered, "this is only the beginning." But it was too late. X projected the traitor's crimes to the entire Empire. Every hologram tower, every military hall, every officer on every planet saw the truth. Vrax fell to his knees as alarms blared across the chamber. His power was gone. Leora stepped closer to Evan, her voice soft for the first time in hours. "You changed everything," she said. "You did what even our strongest warriors could not." Evan breathed hard, adrenaline still rushing through him. "I just did what felt right." "And that," Leora said, placing her hand gently on his shoulder, "is why I whispered those words. You were the one I should have chosen long ago." X hovered close, blinking proudly. "Victory probability 100%. The Empire guards arrived to arrest Vrax. The chamber lights brightened. The world felt new again. And Evan Ward, a simple human engineer, had changed the future of an entire galaxy.